Good morning, chemistry students. My name is Mr. Adam. This is chemistry. Today is the 3rd of April. It is a Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. And it is a day 2. So we've made it. It's Friday. It's our last day of the week, our last day of our first week of online schooling. So thank you all for your work this week, for working hard, for getting things done. I really appreciate those of you who got right to the assignments, got them done, and put forth your best effort on those. I've gotten a chance to look at some of the scores, especially for the quizzes that are all multiple choice. It makes it easy for those to grade automatically. And I also looked at the first assignment. So I've been keeping track of the progress we've been making. Thank you for those of you who've gotten things done and put forth your best effort. We're going to continue working on those, continue making sure that we can do the best we can with the resources that we have and with the school at home that we're going to be doing from now on. So I know this is new and different and really challenging at times, but like I said before, I was thanking those of you who made your best effort. Please make sure to keep putting your best effort forward. Some of you are trying really hard and doing well, and some of you are trying hard and still struggling with this new format, and that's okay. But we had like a 70% average on our last quiz, and we really kind of need to step that up, especially since some of those were true and false and multiple choice questions. So whenever you're doing these quizzes, these assignments, make sure to check back through your reading, through the notes when you're doing those quizzes. Read each answer carefully and make sure when you're doing them to have some scratch paper nearby to doodle on or so that you can write out work. So if you're not sure if something is an isomer, if you're not sure what its molecular formula is, you can actually write that out and kind of work through that as you go, okay? Also, I'm sure that all of you heard yesterday, got the email yesterday, that on Monday we are officially switching to this thing that we call School at Home, or it's abbreviated S at H, right? So for School at Home, it's not tremendously different from what we're doing right now. It's not tremendously different from these FIDs, these flexible instruction days. Mostly it's just the times are switching around. So instead of starting at 10 every day, which, some of you start a little bit earlier anyways, my lessons will be posted by 8:30. I can't promise the videos will be out by 8:30 every day, but I'll try to get them out by then. But at the very least, the instructions and the notes and the readings and Miss Mark's videos will be posted there then and ready to go for you at 8:30 every day. Our office hours change a little bit. We only go till 3:45 every day. But mostly, it's very similar. We're doing this thing called asynchronous learning, which means that I'll post the materials and you'll be able to do them on your own time when you're ready. The big difference is maybe we'll try to meet a little bit more frequently. I'm thinking at this point maybe twice a week we'll meet to go over things, catch up, and ask questions. Can't promise that yet, but that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I'll try to come up with a better way to organize questions and comments. I've gotten some suggestions and had some ideas to have kind of a Google sheet for each lesson where you can ask questions about things that you're not sure about. And then everybody can see those questions so we can kind of all answer them together. But I'll think about doing that and about incorporating that. There are some road bumps with that, so I'll have to think about it a little bit. On a brighter note, probably the brightest note, today we're going to have our first class meetings. Now, first point of emphasis, I want to tell you all that these, again, are not mandatory. You do not have to show up if you have other commitments during those times. That's perfectly fine. We'll miss you, but it is what it is. You don't have to show up for the whole time. You don't have to show up at the very beginning. You can pop in the middle of your class's meetings, but it's not mandatory by any means. It's just a way for us to kind of get together and catch up a little bit. This one probably won't be super serious. We probably won't talk a ton about chemistry. We'll just kind of catch up and see how everybody's doing, but we will talk a little bit about that. But don't be super concerned if you miss this meeting. You won't be missing out tremendously on anything that you need to be successful on these assignments. So today we're going to use Google Meet. We're going to try it out and see how it goes. I've been using it with my other teacher, friends, and colleagues, but I've never actually set up my own. So I'll be doing that today. That'll be new for me. I'll send you out a link today for that about 10 minutes before your class meeting starts. So look for that, click on the link and join. We would love, again, if you can make it, but no pressure if you can't. You do not need to have a webcam to participate in this. You can just join in and listen if you want, or you can just have your audio on if you have a microphone. And if you don't have any of those things, then like I said, you can just join in and listen to and participate if you want to. If you have a webcam, You are by no means required to have your camera on and show us your home or your face. It's only voluntary and nothing will be recorded. So you don't need to show us that if you're not comfortable doing that. A couple ground rules that we're going to set, and I'll go over these a little bit more during the actual class sessions. When you join in, you'll see with Google Meet you have the option to turn off your video and mute your microphone. What I'd like you to do is keep your microphone muted when you are not talking. So that means if you are not the one saying something, if you're not laughing or commenting or something like that, keep your microphone muted, please. I can mute those. I can actually do that myself, but I don't want to have to do that. I want to leave that responsibility up to you guys. Always be respectful to your teacher and to your peers. You can make jokes and laugh and have fun. Just don't do it at anybody else's expense. And don't be talking over other people. If you break any of these ground rules, I'm not afraid to, mute microphones and kick people out if need be, but I don't think we're going to have those problems. It should be fun. It should be relaxing. It should be a good time to catch up. So don't make me police these meetings. They're supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be a chance to catch up and helpful to people. So yeah, that's all for our ground rules. Okay, again, the times for these meetings today, and I'll send out an email so you'll have kind of a written version of this. Second period, we'll be meeting between 1:30 and 1:55, so expect an email to join about 1:20ish. Third period, about 2 o'clock to 2:25. Fifth period is about 2:30 to 2:55, and eighth period is about 3 o'clock to 3:25. So we'll have about 20-25 minutes to meet, to chat, to catch up, to kind of see how everybody is, see everybody's faces, and kind of establish our class a little bit again. Okay, so today's lesson on bonding tendencies, lesson 2.3. You'll do the reading and listen to the Miss Marnick's video today, but you won't actually do the assignment until Monday. So you'll have to reference that stuff and kind of pick it back up on Monday when you're doing that assignment. So today's lesson is all about this thing we call HONC, 1, 2, 3, 4. Miss Marnick will talk a lot more about this. But in HONC 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We have 4 elements. We have hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. And these 4 elements make up almost all of what we call these organic molecules. We talked about them a little bit before we left. In fact, 96% of your body is made up of these 4 elements alone. So they're very important to us, and they have specific bonding tendencies where they like to form exactly a certain number of bonds, okay? So if you're looking at a structure, I'm sorry, I skipped a point. Miss Marnick is going to show you today, but each of these elements is very likely to form a specific number of bonds. So hydrogen, right here, you see, is going to form 1 bond. So it's going to have 1 line coming off of it. And hydrogen always forms 1 bond. And this usually means that hydrogens are found on the outside of a molecule or on the outside of a structure. Oxygen generally is going to form 2 bonds. Sometimes you'll see it have 2 single bonds, lines just like this, and sometimes you'll see it have what we call a double bond, where there are 2 lines. Nitrogen is going to have 3 bonds, where you have 1, 2, 3 lines coming off of it, and carbon is always going to form exactly 4 bonds. It could be 4 single bonds like this, it could be 2 single bonds and a double bond, it can be any combination of 4 bonds. Carbons are usually on the inside of molecules, and they form what Miss Marnick refers to as a carbon chain, where all these carbons are sometimes connected together in kind of a chain, okay? So, if you're looking at a structure, and you'll do this again on Monday for your little quiz, if you're looking at a structure to see if it's following HONC 1, 2, 3, 4, you need to look at each individual atom in that structure. Count how many bonds it's making. Hydrogen should make 1, oxygen should make 2, nitrogen should make 3, and carbon should make 4. If it ever breaks HONC 1, 2, 3, 4, it's not a good structure. If you're making a structure, because you will have to draw some structures, you want to connect all your C's together, right? You want to put them all together in what we call this carbon chain, C, 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 C. Or you can put oxygens and nitrogens between them and in the middle. Miss Marnick will talk more about that. And then you want to draw the right number of lines for each atom. So for each carbon, you'll put it together, connected together by other carbons, and then draw it so it has 4 lines connecting it. Okay? So we'll put 4 lines on a C, 3 lines on an N, 2 lines on an O, and 1 line on an H. Okay? So practice is the key with HONC 1, 2, 3, 4. We can talk a little bit about this in our in-person meetings today, but you got to practice this to get better at it and figure out exactly how it works, right? On Monday's assignment, you'll have to draw some structures on paper. You don't have to turn those in. I know I'm going to get questions about that, but you do not have to turn those pieces of paper in or take photos or anything. They're just for your reference. It's kind of on the honor system where we're saying, do this, make sure you get it done, but you don't have to turn it in. So yeah, make sure to get that assignment done. Learn HONC 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen to Miss Marnick's video. It should be good. So finally, for the share of the day, I'm actually going to save this for our meeting. So if you'd like to share on the comments, you're welcome to do that. But if not, save it for our meeting and we'll kind of talk about it then. Okay? So for the share of the day, I want you to think about this. Who has been your saving grace, per se, during quarantine so far? Who has made things easier on you or has worked really hard to help you out and make your life better? It could be someone you know personally, some family member, or it could be someone you don't know, maybe a stranger, maybe a grocery store worker or a nurse or a doctor who's really helped your family out. But think about who's been a really impactful, influential person in your life during this quarantine and made your life a little bit easier. Okay? Be ready to share that during our meetings today. I'm really looking forward to them. I hope to see most of all of you there. But if I don't, we'll see you again and we'll be in touch. So that's all for now. I'll see you all at our class meetings. Let's get a 1, 2, 3. Clap on me. Happy Friday, everybody.